Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am D Bessie Messi, and if this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much for stopping by. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this braided beautiful wig. If you want to see how I make this wig, please keep watching. Thank you so much. I love you. Mwah. So I'm just going to show you my pretty face, and then I'm going to be showing you the extension I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this one from One & Co, and then I'm just going to show you every other thing I need. I'm going to need my dome cap, and then I'm going to need the frontal I'm going to be using. You could use a full frontal wig if you want to, but that is not what I want to do for this video. So I just went in to lay down the frontal on the dome cap. I just gave it 1 centimeter inch away from the dome cap when I placed it, and then I'm just sewing it down. While starting, you do not want to sew the band, you just want to pass the thread through the net and not through the band, because passing it through the band is going to make it tighter than it would have been. So you want to avoid that. I'm just going to lay down that frontal on the dome cap very well to be flat. I actually sewed it twice because I wasn't comfortable with just doing it once. I don't want it to lose, so you could do that if you're like me.
Sometimes I just don't know what to do. It should have been you.
So the next thing I do is to stretch my attachment. You could do this before sewing. You could do this a day or two before doing your wig. I'm just going to show you, I'm just showing you the difference, why you need to stretch your attachment. It makes it longer, it makes the tip thinner, which helps the hair not to lose. So I'm just going to be taking my crochet pin. I'm going to be using the smaller one. While doing the braids, I discovered the bigger crochet pin tears the net. That's the dome cap, so I stopped using it and started using the smaller one. You could just watch what I'm doing. I just take a small piece of hair, a small piece of the extension, and I just take it out, take only one side of it out, and then I go ahead and place a bigger extension, and then I just tie it up, and then I continue braiding. The video is actually very detailed. I'm just doing a voiceover to explain anything that's not clear, but the video is actually very detailed. You want to hold that part you tied, you want to hold the smaller part you tied before twisting. That helps it not to lose. So you just hold it before turning it and braiding it. Just hold it tight. That will help it not to lose or not to be loosed while you're braiding. That helps a lot. I found out that holding it while braiding helped it be tighter during braiding. It came out tighter while holding it, if that makes sense. If you don't want to go through the stress of braiding so much, if you don't want to go through the stress, you could actually do this part with crochets, like the already weaved braid crochet. You just have to sew it with a needle down if you actually do not want to braid. But I really actually liked the way I braided it myself and the way I'm able to get this color combo, because it's hard to find the color combo you want for crochet and whatever length you would actually want for crochet. With this, I was able to go through all my length. And you also have to make sure before you put that bigger one, you have to make sure it is in the middle. You have to make sure it is well centered. If not, that will throw off your length balance. So you just check out for stuff like that and you're fine, you're good to go. So I'm just going to be showing you that one more time, and then we'll move to the frontal. In case you're not satisfied with your length, you could keep adding as long as you want. You could keep adding attachment to get the length that you want. The length you want also determines how you cut your attachment from the start. I actually did not cut mine because I knew I wanted it really long, and these extensions are not as long as the normal braiding extensions like the expression and darling. It's not as long as that, so I didn't actually cut it. I just braided straight. But if you want a shorter one, you could cut it, but I wanted a longer one obviously, so I didn't cut it. So keep that at the back of your mind as you do so. I already told you I went back in to sew the frontal one more time because I wasn't comfortable. I just felt it wasn't laid as flat as I would want it to be laid. So I actually went back to sew that one more time. So if you want to see the technique I use in sewing it, it's shown here. I could have braided the back a little bit higher, which I'm going to also do, but it's just because for this moment I couldn't find my crochet pin. I actually looked everywhere in the house. I tried using the bigger one, it tore it, so I just gave up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to chill till I find this crochet pin and then continue. But then I don't want to waste time. Let me do the frontal. So I just went in to cut off the excess done cap where the frontal is. You don't want to cut it the way I'm cutting it. You want to cut it while it's being relaxed and it's on a very smooth surface, or you have someone holding it for you. You do not want to cut it too much, so you do not cut the threading you've done. You don't cut it. I'm going to get back to fix that hair. I'm going to go back to crocheting. It's just that I couldn't find my pin like I said earlier. So I just went ahead to do one side of the frontal off camera, and then I'm going to be applying my mousse. This mousse is actually so good, guys. It's actually so good. It worked so well for me. I'm just going to be using that mousse to just rub on the entire remaining hair. I actually advise that you take your baby hair